Okay. Okay. Today's topic is how to build an investment portfolio with AI. My name is Sergey Savastyuk, and I have PhD in applied mathematics. I used to teach at Santa Clara University, and then I started a few companies here in Silicon Valley. Had a few exits, and now I'm guiding Tickeron to its future, where we use a lot of AI. We use natural language generation technology, and primarily for the self-directed investors. So what is the main difference of Tickeron and other companies? I think that one of the main differences that we're SEC registered company. And that gives us some constraints actually, but allows us to ultimately take assets under management. If you are in a search of other pieces of advice of investment and trying to search the internet, then you should be aware that the registration with SEC is a big deal. And if the companies are not registered with SEC, then they can say pretty much anything they want. For instance, there is online trading academy, okay? And right now it's being sued for federal by Federal Trade Commission for investor training scheme, okay? So they've been taking about $50,000 of dollars for the training course, but actually they had some real problems with their claims, and now they're being sued. And here's like latest update. On April 7th, they put a restraining order to stop illegal practice of online trading academy. Okay, so that's the update of this interesting development, and we are SEC registered, so that way we cannot say whatever we want, and that means we are guided by the compliance directives. And then if you want to find out if any company is registered, you have to go to their legal documents and find the form ADV Part 2. This is from Betterman, and if such a form exists, then the company is registered. If such a form does not exist, then the company is not registered. They can say whatever they want. Okay. So why people like to use algorithms? Because 75% of global trade is handled by algorithms, and a lot of them with AI. And that's the reason you really want to listen to this webcast, how to build the portfolios with AI. Okay. So what I'm going to do is to show you some simple stuff. So for instance, based on the portfolio wizards, we will see how to build a portfolio. Then I will introduce you briefly to the screener, and then I will show you some work with the scanners, and then I will show you how to build portfolios with filters, okay? Then I also will show you how to build AI autopilots, which pretty much AI guidance and the control of the portfolios, okay? So let me start right here. So here's the first page. First of all, let me kind of show you some of the basic features on the page. As you can see here, it's one of the simplest window where you can find pretty much anything you want in terms of individual stickers. So for instance, if you want to find something about Facebook, you type here Facebook and you press go. And here you're going to see everything what our system, our AI thinks about the Facebook, and that's the article with analysis of technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and support resistance, trends, earnings, and the headlines from other sources. There's a lot of information, as well as the on the right side, Facebook belongs to different groups, and you can analyze the groups. Okay. Let's assume you want to find out something about oil. You type here oil, let's say oil and gas production, and you also click go. And that way you will be able to see what you're going to see. First of all, you're going to see group analysis, group highlights. So that's what's going on with this particular industry. Then this is a forecast for the industry, and then individual news. Okay, and the same thing you can do if you choose the theme. Let's say you're interested in the 5G, you can pick that one. If you're interested, let's say China stocks, you type China, and let's say China Internet, 17 stocks. Press go, and now you have analysis of the stocks associated with the China Internet. And see, it's pretty good direction for entire group. And here are the news of individual stock related to the topic and the theme China. Okay. Now let me go back to the that's the basics. Okay. Let's now talk about the portfolios. So in order to use the simplest form, you go here, artificial human intelligence, and you go to wizards for beginners. Okay, and I will show you how you can analyze and build portfolios using these wizards. Let's say only 3 questions you have to answer. You are long or short term, okay? Let's say you are a long-term investor and you are 20 and 35-year-old, okay? We leave it here, or you can switch to the short-term trader to get another portfolio. And let's assume you want to see how to allocate your 401k plan, okay? You might know that the 401k plan has a plan menu, and that's given by employer. So that way, that list must be preset. So we say, okay, we want to choose stocks, mutual funds, ETF, whatever the plan menu is going to give us. And then we click next. Okay. Now, there are different ways to download your portfolio. You can use, let's say, transfer your position from Morningstar. You can add funds for your plan one by one. Let's say you type here F, Facebook, or whatever. Or you can copy paste like from your account. It is another option. Or you can select tickers from our library. Let's say you work for Intel. You type Intel 401k, okay, and here is Intel. You select, and now what we have from our library, we have about 26,000 401ks here in the library, and that's where we recognize that Intel has these funds, and then we add all selected, okay? And now what we see, now this portfolio is formed, and as you can see, these are the options, and then in order to, you see, it is all the positions, and these positions are called a plan menu, okay? So in order to finish, here is an assumption that you have only 10,000 in your 401k plan. It might be 25,000, okay? Now, what we do, we analyze your portfolio with regard to diversification. We have a diversification score, which is the similar to the credit score, but only for diversification. It's easy to understand. 400 is a low diversification, 850 is a high. Okay. At this moment, as you can see, selection quality is good, which is 85%. Allocation is poor, simply because we did not allocate here anything yet. Okay? But what is the selection? Selection is the set of tickers in your plan menu. Okay? So that means the quality of selection at Intel is somewhat good, 85% out of 100, and you can assume they did a reasonably good job at Intel selecting this plan menu. Okay? So what you do is you finish, and then if you know that there are some other position Intel added, you can say yes, enter more positions, or you can proceed as is. At this moment, we have 14 positions in the plan menu. We click as is, and now we get to the portfolio type of place where these 14 positions, as you can see, all 1,000 and all zeros. The question is where to put this money. Okay, and then as you can see, AI investment ideas and advice. We say get advice. You click here. And now what you see, that's what we had. 85%, it is a selection quality, and 18% allocation quality, okay? And that was what, 100% in cash, and this is allocation which was before we entered the advice. And here, that's exactly what our AI suggests, and then gives us diversification score, which 782. As you know, diversification score is somewhat in the range of credit score. If it is 720, that means good, it's excellent, okay? So what our system did just in front of you, it put to this type of sectors different amounts, okay? And then that's what's typically other people will tell you what to do approximately. But we go beyond of this point. We say this is exactly the percentages we recommend you to put into your portfolio 401k. Okay, as you can see, that's exactly, let's say, 271. You obviously can change it, and then by pressing edit, you can change these percentages and then have your own thinking. But this is a chart for the 1 month. You can look how these funds performed over the 1 year. Obviously, there's a lot of downturn. And then for 401ks, you cannot change that list. You have what you have. But what is important that at every given moment, our system will give you the exact percentages we believe is the best way to go. For instance, where the growth is the best, the system puts more, and where you see this is a kind of good example, 19% to this fund only because that fund performed better than others. Okay, so after a review of this advice, you can do the following. Either you can edit manually, you can analyze that draft, or you can save that, or you can just simply apply. By applying, you recording that in our system and get that particular order which you can send to 401k administrator where and how to put the money in either percentages or dollar amounts. As you can see, dollar amounts and these other dollar amounts, okay? So then you pretty much done with that, and then you can go back to the overview, and now you have this brokerage order you can review, you can cancel, And then what's going to happen next in our system? Now market is closed, and tomorrow these percentages going to go to your portfolio. These are not the real money. These are the paper suggestions, which are going to be tracked by our system, and you're going to see the performance with this allocation comparing with any other allocations you might have if you have real money. And quite a lot of people put just funds into one or two, three or five without real thinking. But if you do according to this calculation, then you're going to be better diversified, and the performance of your portfolio is going to be much better than you can do it on your own. Okay, so when sometime will goes by, then you can look at these statistics, and then you will see the volatility and all other attributes related to this portfolio. Okay, so as you can see, we covered the very simple. It took us like 15 minutes from the start with my explanation to get from very poor diversified portfolio to the excellently diversified portfolio. Okay. Now let's go back to the same wizard. Okay. Now let's assume I have cash. Okay, and I still a long-term investor. So I'm going to talk about the scenario number 2, where I'm still long-term investor, and let's assume I am 36 to like 50-year-old, and I want to create my portfolio, and let's assume I want to do it with 100,000. Okay, so I click here next. Okay. And then here is an interesting thing that out of 100, the portfolio was automatically created for you by selecting stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds as you requested. And in order to achieve the best diversification score, it requires 12 positions. And then, as you can see, the analysis shows that we selected perfectly the list, okay, out of what AI is thinking. And then allocation quality is right here. So that means we took 100,000 and distributed them according to the advice given by the system. You might say, okay, I have 100,000, but I don't want to have such to control about 12 position. Maybe I don't care that much about 850. I'm going to be just fine with let's say 750 as a diversification score. Let's say 769, 728. Okay, let's say 728. So it requires 8 position. And then you see the diversification score is 728. For selection quality obviously dropped because you have 100,000, and in order to diversify 100,000, you need really 12 positions to control to be perfect. But if allocation is good, the overall diversification score is excellent. Okay. Now, it is assumed that we took your age only, but you might have some other priorities in kind of settings you can adjust. Let's say your risk level is such that you can change to aggressive. You say, yeah, I'm kind of still want to be aggressive, and then year still withdrawal is a shorter period of time. It is non-retirement. Let's say it is retirement account, and then you live in California, and market volatility you can sustain. It is 0 here. It's very conservative. and you make it 6 approximately, and I plan to add some money to, and you say, I don't plan, okay? And if you submit, okay, then as you can see, you change your settings and your parameters, and that way the list was changed for you according to your settings, and more aggressive positions were added to your portfolio, and that way it is required to have only 11 positions. Okay, so what you do, you click finish, and now portfolio is being created, and immediately what you have that brokerage order, and what you have is 100,000. The system believes you still need about 10,000 in cash, and all other money are being distributed by the system according to these orders, and you can submit this order to your brokerage account. Okay. So as you can see, we created two investment portfolios, one out of known plan menu, and another portfolio was created for unknown plan menu, simply distributing 100,000 according to the knowledge our AI has about marketplace, your risk preferences, and as well as the market conditions. Okay. Now let's go back to, so now we created two portfolios, and now let's go back to the wizard. We're still working with the wizard, and that allows us to create quite a lot of things. Okay. Now let's say I'm a short-term trader, and I'm interested in shorter-term trading opportunities, and then I can analyze my existing portfolio. But let's say I have 25,000. I want to create a trading portfolio with stocks. Okay, I'm not in stocks and ETFs, so I'm going to unclick mutual funds, and then now I expect that system is going to create for me a portfolio by some means, right? So next. And then we're going to get to the similar page. As you can see that it is a trading portfolio, and then what it means trading portfolio, it means there is no concern for diversification, okay? And from that perspective, it has only 25,000, and there are different ways to create it. You can just simply split it equally, or ask advisor to give you some advice. So we're going to click it here. Okay. Maybe it wants. Okay. Let's finish and get advice. I know what happens. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I kind of jumped here, try to simplify life even more than it should be. Okay, so when you have a portfolio, when you have that cash and you want to create that portfolio, then you actually have to have some means to select your positions, okay? And we have here two options to select, either from popular filters or from your own filters, which you can create in the screener, okay? I will then show you how to create these filters, but let's take something out of here. Let's say I have here a portfolio I want to create with, let's say, restaurants with a good PE growth at this price per earnings. Okay. So I assume here I want to have only 5 positions, and I'm asking, give me the 5 best restaurants and build me a portfolio with these steps, okay? Meaning with these positions. And now I can click here and allocate my 25,000. What would be the best? Okay, so one way is split equally. As you can see, I have 5,000 to each, or I can ask AI advisor to put it here. As you can see, the situation is such that it recommends to put all the money to only one stock, maybe because there is not that much of a confidence in the growth of these stocks, and that's the reason it thinks to put only one. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put it equally at this moment, and that way we're going to be able to create a portfolio. Okay, so but let's assume I want to have other popular filters which we created, internet software companies and companies with the price growth. Okay, let's look at this. So that filter was preset, and now you can use it. So let's assume we have these companies, and it is a 5 position. Let's assume I want to have more than 5. I want to have, let's say, 10 to put approximately 2,500 to each if I want to split it equally. And let's see what AI advisor thinks, preferably where it would have put it. Okay. Yeah, you see there are some good opportunity. It was found in this construction. Some of them it doesn't like, right? Some of them it likes, and after the clicking on finish, you can have that portfolio. Okay, let's say finish, and I have third portfolio which distributed my cash accordingly. And as you can see, it put only to 4 promising companies, which I think is going to be a really good growth, like Spotify, very popular company, VeriSign, and then what else? NetEase and Match Group. As you can see, it is a good opportunity. Okay. Now I can look my brokerage order the same way, and that's how it suggests to distribute. Okay. As you can see, we relied on some popular filters, and the question is how to create our own filters. So we will go to screener home, and now we are in a screener. Okay, and I will show you right now how to create some of the filters from scratch. Okay, so as you can see, this field is the filters, and that's where we're going to be recording and then saving a filter which we can use later to generate a portfolio anytime we want. Okay, so first of all, we have to say it is a stocks, then options. Stocks, all stocks including pennies, and this stocks excluding pennies, and this is only penny stock. Some people like to work only with penny stocks. Some people like work with the stocks without penny. Okay, so we're going to select this one, and then we can choose either particular industry or go through the analysis of these fundamentals. As you can see, we have here fundamental analysis, technical analysis, just classical fundamentals, and this is analysis of earnings and dividends. Okay, in a typical screener, you're going to have this page where you have to know what is the PB ratio, cash per share, beta, EPS, ROE, and then PEG ratio, and not a lot of people know that stuff. What we did, we translated that into this other understandable in English description. So for instance, this is a valuation rating, and some people like to buy only undervalued companies. So you click here, and that way you're gonna sort and get only undervalued companies. If you want only overvalued companies, then now it's sorted by, and as you can see here, 3,778 companies. They've been sorted by this parameter, by this fundamental rating. This rating, profit versus risk, allows us to kind of find a really good balance between risk and return. And as you can see, it selected pretty good companies right away, which give us a good balance between risk and return. And then you pretty much can do the following. If you like that only one criteria, you're gonna say, okay, I want to save my filter and name it as a profit versus risk for any industry, and you're going to be done. And that way you're going to be able to create a portfolio at any time with any stocks you want. Okay. SMR rating, sales margin and return, that's analyzing the business model, and it's also can give you this good ratings. Price growth rating allows us to look at what's going on with the price. As you can see, it typically shows whether or not the price is growing well. And PE growth, it is whether or not the earnings are growing. And this is a seasonality score. It's a kind of a unique rating, which pretty much says that it's like a, let's say, back to school season, right? So there are some companies grow in value in a particular seasons. So what it found that this group of stocks kind of likes to go up in when? In May, right? So if you get to this screener in June, it's going to show you a different list based on that seasonality score, okay? So now let's construct at least one filter, okay? So we're gonna go here and say we are interested in a good seasonality score, let's say, which is gonna say buy, okay? And with a confidence higher than 80%. So we have 182 companies. The seasonality is good. And then we want to select price versus risk, all positive. So we get 41 company with this criteria. As you can see, your filter now is recorded like stocks excluding penny with profit versus risk, seasonality score, and sorted by seasonality score. Or you can sort by, let's say, FA score, which kind of says, okay, all green stuff on top, everything on the bottom, right? And it's not a bad selection. As you can see, there's a lot of green, right? There are some overvalued companies, which is quite often happens with the really good growing companies. And then I sort by FA score, okay? And now I will save that filter as, you see, it's already pre-filled, stocks including penny. We can record pretty much with the same name and say save, okay? So how you can use that? First of all, you can come to this filter through the screener and then get that into my filters. So we're gonna find that. You go here, my filters, and as you can see, this is this one. Every time you open a screener, you're gonna have your filter, and you're gonna get all these companies right here in your screener. The same thing you can do if you go to your home, and now you're gonna go to create a portfolio. So I'm gonna show you how to create a portfolio with this particular filter, my portfolios, okay? And now I'm gonna create a new portfolio with a different type of approach, not with a wizard, but with a more kind of advanced version. Okay? It's going to be a fourth portfolio I'm going to create for today. So create portfolio. Here I will have to, as you can see, it's a little bit different workflow, more sophisticated. And then portfolio today is what, 5/21, 2020. Next, okay. Now, what I want to do is how I'm going to select position. I'm going to be selecting these tickers from the filter, right? So I'm going to get, you see, this is what we just recorded. We're going to select this one, and then let's say I want to have 10 positions, okay? 10 positions. And then now what it shows these 10 positions from this filter sorted by the FA score, right? So that means this is all really good companies, except this one. I might just delete it. Okay. Are you really to remove? Yes. Okay. So now I have these positions, and I'm going to go next. Okay. So I have nine positions. If I want to add, I will add, but I will proceed as is. And now I want to get the allocations. Allocations I can get either through the AI advisor, or I can get and put them manually, okay? But what I'm gonna do at this stage, I'm just gonna skip it and get advice later, okay? Now settings, and settings are important because we're gonna say diversification is let's say important for me, and then risk level is aggressive. I'm aggressive today from 0 to 5. Type is non-retirement, California, let's say, and then cash reserves. I have less than 12 months. This is approximate minimum per position is 1%. This is if I need a rebalance, that 1%, volatility somewhere in the middle, and I don't plan to put any money, okay? So next. Next is this, what I promised you from the beginning. I will tell you what is the AI autopilots, okay? So here it's already preset. Every time you have some kind of alerts, then you will be alerted. I will show you where to find that. But let's assume I want to put on autopilot. On autopilot, it means that here I want to have with equal weight. So every, let's say, month, my portfolio is going to go to the screener, use the filter which I already created, right? So I'm going to use that filter, okay? So 10 positions, and then I'm going to get that filter which we, you see, this is a filter which I created, okay? And now this is exact filter we extracted. And then what's going to happen with this autopilot filtering screener, 1 month now and 1 month later, what's going to happen, this portfolio is going to go to the screener, find the similar type of positions as we just discovered, take the best 10, okay, and then automatically replace with existing. And that way, what's going to happen, you're going to see that portfolio being allocated monthly every week. I'm sorry, every month. And then if you want to do it every week, then that autopilot is going to give you a tested performance in the future with all these conditions, okay? It sounds scary, but it is not quite scary as long as you understand that the computer is going to go look on the screener and then extract the position, put them in equal weight. It can put in a AI suggested way, kind of rebalanced way, but we will leave it as it is, and we are done. So what we've done, we created a portfolio which is on, you see, on alerts on autopilot, and it's going to be reallocating that every time it is necessary. And today is a zero because market is closed, but tomorrow it's going to be allocated according to this filter equal weight, and then the portfolio is going to start kind of living and breathing, doing that once a week or once a month, whatever we're done. Okay, so now let's review other settings for these portfolios. Okay, so these are the settings we answered. This is a name, only stocks we selected. We, if you remember, answered this question. It's active portfolio. These are autopilot and alert settings, which we just observed. Okay. And then this is a personalized alerts, which you can generate. Let's say any position was down by 3%, 5%, 10%. Then you're going to get alerts if anything bad good happening. Okay. So as you can see, I pretty much covered everything. Oh, except the scanner. Scanner is a very interesting thing, which would allow us to do the following. Let's assume I'm in a screener, and then I want to extract. So what type do I have? Oh, you see, it still remembers my selection. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is to move that to the scanner. Okay. And I will show you the different means of moving this list of 20. If you kind of scroll down more, you can actually move all of them to the, you see now it's 39 I opened. I can open all of them. Let's say 41, right? Okay. Okay, 40, right? 40, not 41. A lot more. Okay, whatever is there. Okay, so now what I can do, I can first of all look and analyze that set, and then I will show you all these steps. So first of all, I can create a portfolio right from here. Okay, I can create a watch list and open that tomorrow. I can put it on a scanner. If I click it here, all my stocks are now going to go to the scanner, and as you can see, they're being loaded. Oh, okay, because the market is closed right now, and then when you open the scanner, then you're going to see here this list. And that way you're going to be able to see the changes is here. Okay, I should have opened actually. Okay, so now let's see if I can analyze that list from the perspective of summaries. I click here. Now I'm gonna generate that analysis of what's going on with the stocks I selected, and all the companies here being analyzed with regard of their signals by, you see, it's pretty a good list of stocks which you can buy based on the filter we just created. Okay. What I can do, if you want, I can show you how to transfer this type of filters from one to another. What you do, let's say you can do the following: copy URL, copy. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna here go to chat, and then I'm gonna paste that link, which you can take in a chat, a group chat. And if you click on that, you will be able to extract the same filter, which I just created. You can pass to your friends and use it later, but that could be a good starting point for you. And that's how you can start using their features and their transfers. Okay. That kind of ends the presentation. There are a lot of other features. We have some premium products. We can find patterns, trends, intraday stocks, intraday patterns for stocks, ETFs, forex, cryptos, and there are a lot of other things where you can buy portfolios and really watch how these features work online. And in Academy, you can read articles, blogs. Actually, you can find quite a lot of videos. You can actually also look at the other videos or webcasts. So, for instance, a week ago, there was a extended webcast about the screener. Then another one was how to use the paper trading on our side. Today I showed you portfolio without paper trading. Then how to find trending stocks, day trading with patterns, all kinds of things you can find here, as well as the one-on-one lessons you can get. And you also can get quite a lot of videos in our library to learn more. As you can see, this is all our videos you can benefit. And here we started giving some analysis of stocks, let's say retail stocks versus restaurants, entertainment versus online. We'll show you how we find the good stocks, okay? So now, guys, if you have any questions, it's a good time to start the questions, and I will be glad to answer on your questions. So how you get the questions, you go to chat, type your question, and then I will be able to answer. Don't hesitate to ask them. Okay, I don't see too many questions today. That way, I think I'm going to stop for today. I thank you for your attention. And then if you're interested in other webcasts, then you're welcome. Oh, here's one question. Hello, will there be a real-time trend analysis service in the future? Yes, we have real-time trend analysis. Okay. Here's the thing that we have these products. Let me show you just a second. So we have this trend analysis. This is end of day, okay? The stocks and ETFs here, they do give pretty much trend analysis intraday on a, let's say, 5 minutes trends. And this is for the purposes of the searching for the patterns. And if you're interested in patterns, you can read about all of them right here. From that perspective, this actually gives the trend with a sophisticated way of search of patterns. If you're really specifically asking about our trend prediction engine intraday, yes, we're working on that. And then when it's ready, we're going to present it. Okay. There's another question. Right now, it is end of day. Yes, that's true. Okay, yes, sure. It's end of day right now. We're working on that. But actually, in a few weeks, be ready for that. We're going to introduce even more sophisticated tools, which are the robots, okay? So we went to a next level of sophistication and asked our AI just do the trading, not only showing trends, not only showing the patterns, not only gathering the statistics. You see, this is the statistics. If it is, let's say, 70%, then statistics 95%, okay? It's all cool, and then it all gives the entry and exits and everything, but doesn't really record the real trades, okay? So we're moving to the next level. We're going to be presenting sometime in June the following thing. So you can find the paper trades on our site, and there will be some, this is my paper trades. As you can see, they're being traded. It's a really good analysis. It looks like my average duration of a trade 7 days. The profit, average profit $700, loss 300, which is a good ratio. Everything kind of works when I do it manually on a paper trades, but then I kind of can give you some preview. Is some of the robots right now testing, and let's say I click it here. As you can see, this is a robot traded 48 times, and this is the record of the robot. Okay, there was no human involvement, robot just trading. Okay, and then there are some other robots here. As you can see, how much it goes, 13,000. Okay. There are some other robots here which we testing and soon gonna presenting, and then you will be able to follow them. Okay. So that's the future, and that way it is intraday real trades. You see, this is open trades which were made today. Okay, they're not good today, but as you can see, the trades are good. The robot is making money. There are some others. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that's another robot. You see a good ratio. Average profit is better than average loss. 65 trades. Today, all positions are closed. Let's see if we had today. Today was no trades, but as you can see, quite a lot of good trades. Okay, so I'm just giving you preview. Then instead of searching for trends, we're just gonna give you the opportunities to follow these robots, which are going to be calculating trends, calculating patterns, summarizing everything, and then presenting them for you. And we'll describe how we're doing that too. Okay. So any other questions, guys? Oh, one more. Okay. Are the robots going to be an addition? Yes, it's going to be additional service. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So when we're going to announce that, then you're going to be able to see them right here somewhere. We're going to put it here, AI robots. You're going to come, you're going to be able to select these robots and just follow them with paper trades or with the real trades. So we're going to give you all statistics. You see, this is a 21-hour duration of every trade. And then all the statistics right here, pretty good statistics actually. Look, 58%, it's not bad, but taking that ratio into account, it's really good. Okay, yeah, it's coming up. You guys have to follow, and we will make an announcement in emails. Anything else? No? Okay, guys, thank you. I stop sharing, and then I will one more. Okay, yeah, thank you, guys. Sure, yeah, thank you. And then I will stop then recording and the session, and goodbye.